What is up, whammin' and gentle whammin'? Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I'm doing an updated profile for the Phantom Knights deck that I've been messing around with, doing fairly decent with. I've got a new list. The old list I took to didn't take to, because technically it was a remote regional, but still, I played in a remote regional with it. It was my first regional ever. Learned a lot about like remote dueling and all that, and did absolutely dog shit. I went 0-3 drop. I got fucking bodied because I just played like ass. Yeah, but I made a few changes to the deck because it was clunky. It was very clunky that day. So I made some updates. I participated in a remote regionals on Saturday, and then after a remote OTS championship, and then after that I competed for the Back to Duels game mat, the Judgment Dragon one, and I ended up winning that. So overall I did fairly well for the weekend. The OTS championship was 5 rounds, and we lost in the final round, bubbling out, finishing 9th, and top 8 made it to top 8. There's a top 8 cutoff with playoff for top 4 to get invites. So I finished 9th, mainly because I decided to be good guy Joe and not stall for time. Game 3 of the final round, my opponent activates Foolish Burial Goods. I checked the clock. There's 14 minutes left on the clock. If I wanted to slow play, I could have definitely made the game last longer than it did. When he passed his turn to me, there was about I want to say 5 to 8 minutes left on the clock, and I decided to not be a sleazebag and actually play the game. Ended up losing with I passed turn back to him with a minute left on the clock, and he ended up winning on his turn. But that's beside the point. We'll go into that later. After the OTS championship, we went to locals for the Back to Duels, and I went 4-0 with PK. I think I only dropped one game. The new list is really, really strong, and I'll give more of a tournament report at the end. But let's jump into the profile. So, as always, 2 tour guides. I think 2 tour guides is correct. You don't need 3. 3 is clumpy. I was really liking 2. You want to see 1. You don't want to see more than 1, though. You only want to see 1 per game, normally. So 2 tour guides, and then 3 torn skills for the starters. These are obvious. These are obvious for the deck. Tour guide, torn skills are your starters. And then for the rest of the Phantom Knights, we played 3 boots, 2 cloak, 1 greaves, and 1 gloves. We upped the Phantom Knights package. We added in an extra cloak. The deck's gone from 40 to 42 with a few changes. One was putting an additional cloak in. I noticed that there were times where I'd run out of from where I was running so few, and I'd get into the grind game with Sword Soul and stuff, which happens a lot. This is how this deck beats Sword Soul, is you get into the grind game and you just outgrind them. I'd run out of names really fast to send, and lose momentum too quickly. So bumping this to 2 was definitely the right choice. It helped me grind against Sword Soul. It made the Sword Soul matchup a little bit easier, just because I could outgrind them. I had more options to get to. Up next, we're moving on to extenders. We played 2 Kagemusha Knight to chain block the tour guide. We added in the Terra Top and Tekatomborg. I didn't draw this in the OTS championship, but I saw it 3 times at the Back to Duels tournament, and it was absolutely insane. This card just lets you push through interactions like it's nobody's business. Just making Cherubini without committing your normal summon is absolutely insane. This card's not a brick, so that's why I feel like you can get away with it now. If you open this card, it's completely insane. It's cracked, and then if you open this just turns into either a normal summon to special an extender, or this just turns into an extender later on in the combo. Especially once you get to app, you can just spec this out, and it makes it easier to get your torn scales off the field without losing it. We played the double dangers, 1 bunny, 1 snack. These just interact really well with torn scales, so I felt like it was needed to add more extenders. That's the biggest thing that I noticed in the first regionals with the old list is I just didn't have enough extenders. My first turn combo was normally good, but like if they had interruptions, the build was fairly weak to it. Then we played the one tracker, one wielder, psychic package, very strong and searchable with E-Telly. And then the final extender was junk forward. I saw this like one time and it wasn't really relevant. So like if I'm going to cut any of the extenders, it's going to be this one. Like it's searchable off of Rhoda, but like it just doesn't do a lot. And it has to be your first summon, which isn't terrible, but like it's okay. It's definitely the weakest out of all the extenders because they all summon after I've already committed to a board, and this one I have to play first, which is like okay. But that's it for the extenders. On to the engine cards. The one graph, one seer. We cut the Scarm. Scarm wasn't needed. It came up once in the OTS Championship where if I would have been able to like send a Scarm or summon a Scarm and then have an ability to search a tour guide on the end phase, it would have made a game a little bit easier, but like the outcome would have been the same. So, but it wasn't that relevant. And then finally for the bricks, we played the 2 Destiny Heroes and then the 1 Scythe. This card's insane. Like, straight up, this card is insane. This makes your Sword Soul matchup going first really like almost free. You let them commit to a board and then you Scythe them, or you just go on draw phase and you Scythe them. Scythe is just ridiculously strong right now. I love this card. It's really, really good. On to spells. We played 3 Fusion Destiny. This card's absolutely insane. Being able to go for full combo and then they like, if they stop you, you can just, okay, cool, activate Fusion Destiny, end on DPE. And DPE is a fucking house, dude. Like, that card is insane. It brings the ceiling of this deck to another level. Just what advantage that card creates for you. Like, a lot of people at locals are finally starting to agree with me that, hey, this card's actually cracked. I've still got a few people that disagree with me, but like this engine is so much better than Dragoon that it's literally insane. Just the draw 2, the being able to special summon when you during your draw phase, like if you draw a monster, just spec it out, and then banish 2 to draw 2 cards. That's absolutely insane. This being able to let you go full combo and then activate this at the end of it. DP popping this and then locking your opponent out of the extra deck for the turn is absolutely insane. I love this card. It brings the ceiling of the deck so much higher. We're still playing the 3 droplet. I feel like you have to play some kind of board breaker in the deck. I'm not playing hand traps, so like if I'm going second, I want to draw one of these, which normally is fairly consistent to see one in your opening hand. That way you can just like break through a board. I mean, there shouldn't be too much explanation for droplet, and if you draw it and you're going first, you can still set it and still does stuff. I cut talents to 2. I only want to see this when I open it, and I only want to see 1. There was a bunch of times in the remote regional that I played in that I drew 2 of this and then like 2 droplets, and those hands were like really, really bad. And that happened a lot. That's part of why we went X3 or O3. It was just like really clunky hands with that. We cut E-Telly to 1. A lot of people are gonna like attack me over that, but you only play 2 psychics. I'm only playing 2 psychics, so this is just, I don't feel like 2 of this is important. There were times in the first regional where I'd go through both psychics and then draw E-Telly, and it's completely terrible. So I'd like to lower the chance of make it to where I draw either this or one of the 2 psychics, not both. Rhoda and Call by the Grave, these are just like standard. This card's insane. This card just searches everything in your deck. Call by the Grave is just literally insane. I love this card. I wish it was at 3. It makes hand traps free, and then it has a lot of interactions, neat little interactions with your opponent when you're playing. Like you can call by the Trouble Sunny and tell them no. That's really fun when you're playing against, like, this is really strong against Live Twin. It's just really good against everything right now, even not just for hand trap removal. Like, this is just a really good card right now. And then finally onto traps, we got 3 Fogblade, obvious, 1 Wings, and 1 Stangreaves, or Shade Brigandine. This is the normal lineup that I always play. Um, there was one during the my round 2 game against Sword Soul, game 2. I opened a fog blade, set a fog blade off of Rusty, and then searched the third one. So I ended on a board of triple fog blade, like at Scythe and all that, because I just opened really gas. And my opponent was like, okay, Dark Ruler, and then normal summon this monster, activate the effect, or reveal the thing. I was like, Fog Blade. He goes, try to do another thing. I was like, Fog Blade. And he's like, I guess just pass, man. And then I ended up killing him on the crackback. He said, what was the last card? I was like, it was another Fog Blade. He's like, dude, that was freaking ridiculous. You opened insane. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty cracked. Onto the extra deck. Field Center, token, boom. One Link Spider, because linking off the Nib token or the Shade Brigandine to turn it into something like an Artifact Scythe or Artifact Dagda. This card is insane. Lets you summon Scythe from the deck. Well, set Scythe from the deck, and then you just pop it with DPE on your turn, on their turn, and then you summon it out and lock them out of the extra deck. This card's literally insane. I love it. One Cherubini. It's obvious. It's part of your combo. The card's really good. One Vert, in case you don't open the Fusion Destiny, you can just summon DPE with Vert. Bard is this Bard. He's the essential part of the deck. One Unicorn, one app, one access code. Definitely didn't struggle getting this. This won me a few games this weekend, which was really nice. On the Exceeds, we had one Levier, two Break Sword, and then the one change to the extra deck. We're now playing Time Thief Redoer. I forget what I cut for this. I cut IP for Time Thief. It came up, like, I made it a couple times in the OTS Championship. There's times where, like, if you open combo, you can, like, I always make app because I like to be safe and don't want to get blown out by Nibiru. So, like, that made going into IP on the hands where you open Fusion Destiny a lot worse. Because you're just going to make, like, the odds of you using all of your Appaloosa negates before they find a way to out it, and then you IPing it away is very low. Or for me at least, it was very low that they outed the Appaloosa before it was worth me IPing it away into something for Unicorn. So I felt Time Thief Redoer was a lot stronger, and it was very relevant. Just being able to blink it out and steal a card from in the top of your opponent's deck every turn was really, really good. Gives you deck knowledge, especially when you're going first and you don't know what your opponent's playing. So you go draw and then stand by, you equip a thing to him. It's really good. So then you get game knowledge of what your opponent's playing. And sometimes they'll just scoop to this. Like if they don't think they can break your board and you like try to equip something, they'll just scoop so they don't give you deck knowledge, which isn't a bad play, but like that gives you free games sometimes. But like the card knowledge off of this, and then like if you get lucky and grab a trap, or if you equip this to it, it's kind of insane. But I resolved this for the banish and draw one a lot, because a lot of the time that when I summoned him, I'd get a spell from my opponent, and then just like drawing a card is really good every turn for free. It's pretty good. Then we played the one Downerd and the Zeus. This actually came up today. I played against Sword Soul, and he bounced the Zeus like 3 times, twice. So I got to summon it 3 times, which was really, really good. Put a lot of pressure on him, made him waste a lot of resources just to out a Zeus, and then Zeus ended up winning the game. And then finally we played DPE. This card's cracked. I'm not going to explain it any further. Like, that card is literally insane. If anybody thinks you should be playing Goon over that, I think you're wrong, and we can argue about it in another video or in the comment section. Onto the side deck, we are still playing the 2 Godarla. I need to get a third. Kaijus were relevant this weekend. I didn't play against any Attic Dister. So I didn't have to worry about towers, but this is, like, I feel like Kaijus are really strong right now, especially with everybody putting up multiple negates, and people putting up Herald now. So you just, like, Kaiju over the Herald and then droplet the other 2. It's really good, or you just like Kaiju over the Baron, and then you don't have, if you don't have a droplet or whatever. Like, this is a really strong going second card. We played the 3 Droll because we don't want to deal with Drytron. We just want to tell them no. 3 Lancia. Oh, this also has like some overlap with Flowanderies because they do a lot of searching on their turn 1. Lancia because it's Lancia. It's really strong in the mirror match. It's like okay against Sword Soul, but not the greatest. That's all the monsters I sided. Then I sided triple Twin Twisters. Twin won me a game against Sword Soul because my first round against Sword Soul because I go first game 1, set up my board. He can't crack it. We go to game 2. He cracks it because he was playing going second. He was playing like evenly matches and stuff, but I was able to outgrind him because I think he evenly matched me, lightning stormed me, and dark rulered me across 3 turns and still just couldn't do anything because he just like bricked, I guess. But then we go game 2. I make my board. He goes dark ruler, activate Mystic Mind, pass, and he's like, "Do you have an out to Mystic Mind?" I was like, "Yeah, I've got an out to Mystic Mind. I sided into Twin Twister. I'm fine." And so we just like pass back and forth for like 2 turns. I draw on a Twin Twister. Twin Twister blows up his Mystic Mind and he just scoops. He's like, "So why did you side in Twin Twister against Sword Soul?" The reasoning you side this in against Sword Soul is because there are Sword Soul players that are playing the Mystic Mind, and they are now playing Gravity Collapse. So if my opponent has a Gravity Collapse and I normal summon and they Gravity Collapse me, that's 2 ways that they have to turn skip Phantom Knights, is through Gravity Collapse and now the what's it called? The Arch Nemesis dude that you declare a card type and then they can't summon that type for the turn. So that's 2 ways they can turn skip you. So if they don't summon the Arch Nemesis, you want to be able to Twin Twister the back row, because even if it is just like a blackout, blackout's really good. Popping 2 of your, like if you go normal summon Tour Guide, summon a dude, and then they just blackout it away, then it's really strong. So you want to like have an answer to the blackout going into their first turn forward, and then Gravity Collapses to this turn skip, so you have to play some form of spell and trap removal. So I felt like Twin Twister going second was a lot stronger. Then we also played 3 Lightning Storm for more spell and trap removal or front row removal if needed be. There was one time this weekend where I sided this in and Lightning Storm the front row. Went Lightning Storm. They go chained. They were like Chain Baron. I was like Chain Droplet, send Lightning Storm, send another thing, negate your other dude, and then blow up everything. It was really strong. Lightning Storm's really strong right now. And then the 1 IO, because if we're going first, I like to side out like the droplets and side into like IO or like high impact cards against my opponent. So like I'll side into IO, or if I know I'm playing against Drytron, I'll side in like 2 Droll and an IO over the droplet, or like Lancias if I think it's impactful in the matchup. Something that I can keep in my hand and have for like play on their turn. But IO is really strong against a lot of decks, so that's why we played it. Okay, so on to the tournament report. So for the OTS Championship, we finished 9th. We played against 2 Sword Soul, 1 Live Twin, 1 Invoked Dogmatica, 1, so that's 4, and then the last round was like combo Megalith Magic Key. Sword Soul matchup is actually really even if they turn skip you. As long as you open like a way to deal with the dude on their turn, you're fine normally. Because like, yeah, they can kill you really, really fast and very easily. But what I found in that game, round 1 was just like a 2-0'd Sword Soul. And then the second game's round against Sword Soul was like really even. Like he won game 1, I won game 2, and then game 3 was really grindy. He did the Arch Nemesis dude, but I opened Fogblade. I opened Fogblade, Boots, a Psychic, and I think Well, I think I opened junk forward. I think that was the one game where like I opened junk forward. I thought about my lines, and then it eventually turned into, okay, I can't special summon darks. So what can I do? What was the line? I'm trying to remember the line. I'm sorry. Oh, I was thinking to myself, okay, so what's the line here? Do I go into Levier and try to swing into, or does Levier get me anything if I summon it? No. So I ended up just like setting the boots, set Fogblade, and passed. Or something along those lines. Shit, I can't even remember, but it ended up turning into me like him not really doing much going into the battle phase, swinging with both, and then when he tried to use the Arch Nemesis, I'd Fog Bladed it, and then it went back to my turn, and I was able to like establish a board, and then started like popping and getting into the PK stuff, and then just like grinded that one out. So I think Sword Soul, like the only reason Sword Soul is 50-50 with Phantom Knights is because of the Arch Nemesis dude that's just like a free turn skip. I feel like PK has a really strong matchup against them, and just a lot of people don't realize that. You just have to play the matchup very smartly, and you have to take your time. That was my biggest mistake in the OTS championship, is I didn't take my time. I just rushed, and I was or not the OTS championship, the first regional I did. I was in a hurry. I was nervous. And that cost me all of my games. Well, my first game, I was just nervous and I couldn't see what my opponent was doing. Like his camera was really, really bad. So like I got nervous. I played way too fast and I cost myself that game. And then the other two games in that regionals, I just got way too overconfident and didn't respect my opponent. So in the OTS championship, I did the opposite of all that. I tried to slow down my play, which I still need to slow down more. That's my biggest flaw as a player, is I just play too fast. And sometimes it's better to just take your time, breathe, and think about what you're doing. Like, I know what my deck does, so I'm like, okay, this is the line I see. I've always been the type of person, okay, I figured out the line I want to go for, I'm just going to go. I'm going to start doing my plays. If you interrupt me, I'll adapt on the fly, but I'm not going to slow play and think through every single step of the thing. Just to like wear down the clock, and that honestly cost me my round 3, or my last game. But we'll get into that. Live Twin was so game 1. When I realized I was playing against Live Twin, I got very overconfident, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna easy clap this. This is an easy matchup for me." Got very overconfident, and then dropped game 1, and then I got really nervous. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna calm down, think this through." And was able to backdoor 2-0 the Live Twin player. The Phoenix Enforcer dunks on Live Twin. Like, it just does so much. If you know how to play against Live Twin, Enforcer just dunks on them. So, like, when they go Sunny, they'll tribute Sunny. You chain... how did I do that? Oh, they have Sunny on field. If you have Phoenix Enforcer, you just activate Enforcer's effect. They have to respond to Enforcer with Sunny, but if they respond to Enforcer with Sunny, they get blown out either way. Like, either way, it's bad for them, as long as you know how to play. So you go activate Phoenix Enforcer, they'll go chain Trouble Sunny, blink it out into red and blue. Enforcer will resolve, popping itself in red. You want to pop red, not blue, because red can summon back blue, and then blue will get a free pop. So what you want to do is each time you want to clear red twice. That way, so you pop red, they don't get the effect of blue to pop a card. And then as you go through your combo, they're eventually going to summon back red. If they don't summon back red, then they're just giving you free advantage. So like if you go, say, attack into blue, and they go, okay, effect, bring back red, draw a card, you change your attack to red. You always kill red first, and once red is gone, then you can kill blue. That way you don't have to worry about the pop. Like, it's really easy to play around that interaction with them. And then when I played against Live Twins at locals, which you'll see, Call by the Grave is just a fucking house against Trouble Sunny. They go, activate Trouble Sunny effect, you just chain Call by the Grave. Blows them out. We have a really, really good Live Twin matchup. You just have to be patient and know how to play against the deck and know what to stop. Sunny Snitch is kind of a problem for us. You have to waste a pop to get rid of it, or just like that 400 life point swing every time you summon gets ridiculous. We lost to the Invokes Dogmatica. Winda Pass is a Summon Mechaba, Summon Winda Pass is a strong thing against Phantom Knights, especially since we can't pop the Winda. I didn't open Droplet. Like if I saw a Droplet, that matchup's free, but I didn't see Droplet, so that matchup's not free. It's very, very tough, and you lose that if you don't see Droplet. So that's why I'm maining Droplet, because I hate Winda. Ban Winda, people. Ban that card. Okay. Enough ranting about Winda. That was what, round 4? Yeah. And then round 5, we played against a Megalith player. I didn't know what the fuck that guy was doing half the time, to be honest. And I think that's the biggest reason why I lost that round. I just didn't know what the fuck my opponent was doing most of the time. I felt very confident when he started playing out his combo the first game. I was like, oh, Chalice Slime, okay, this is a bad deck. And then it started to get out of hand, and then he started summoning more stuff, and then he summoned a Baron, and then he summoned Borreload Savage Dragon, and then he summoned the fucking Herald, the Synchro Herald, and I was like, well, fuck, this got out of hand really fast. And then Big Chungus Brain Joe here decides that, oh, I'm going to activate Droplet and discard a monster from hand. And I learned really, really fast you can't do that. So that was a swift scoop to game 2, friend, because I'm bad at the game. We go to game 2. I set up my board. He literally cannot play. So we go to game 3 with, I think there's 14 minutes on the clock. He goes, standby, main, activate extra Foolish Burial, paying half his life. And I was like, yeah, bro, that's cool. I should have slowed him down. He played extremely fast through his turn. I should have slowed him down and actually figured out what the hell was going on, paid more attention to what was getting added, what things did. I should have asked more questions in the first game and in the second, in that last game when he was playing. Because like a lot of the cards I didn't know what they did, and that's honestly what cost me the game. At one point he searched the one Megalith that lets you quick effect ritual summon from the hand, and I just didn't know what half of the fucking cards did, to be honest. So that's on me. And that's also part of why like I really don't like remote duels. Is I can't, like, when my opponent's going through stuff, like, even if I don't have an interruption. So if I don't have an interruption, I don't feel like I'm justified to stop my opponent and be like, hey, what does that do? Or like, hey, explain to me what's going on, please. Like, well, no, not like explain to me what's going on. Because like he was telling me, hey, I'm going to do Chain Link 1, draw a card, Chain Link 2, do this. And like, yeah, I don't have I can't stop it. But like I can't pick up your cards and read them as you're going through the motions, which makes a difference for me because like I don't like to I feel like it's slow playing if I'm like asking my opponent every single little fucking thing that he's doing. I mean, I guess I need to get out of that mindset. Well, I do need to get out of that mindset for our remotes, because like in remote duels, like that's really relevant. If I don't know what your cards do, you need to ask your opponent, or at least be like, hey, hold on, let me like pull up the database, let me read some of these cards that you're activating so I know what's going on. I'd like to know what's going on, please, while you're going through your stuff. And I think if I would have done that and like actually paid attention, I would have won that game just based off of time. But like outright winning that game, I wasn't winning that game. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything I could have done to win that game legitimately. So I feel less bad about it, but it's fine because like he goes through and he makes his whole combo, passes turn back to me, 8 minutes left. What did I do? I opened combo, but not good combo, and I opened Droplet. So I opened Droplet, Double Fog Blade, Boots, a Tracker, and what was the other card? I opened something else. I'm trying to remember. I think it was It might have been no, it was Stangreaves. It was definitely Stangreaves. So it goes to my turn. I go normal summon Stangreaves. No, I go normal summon Boots. Attempt a special tracker. No, it wasn't Stangreaves. It was Kaiju. It was the Kaiju because I went Kaiju over the Herald, and then I started to play. I went normal Boots, special tracker, make Cherubini, activate Cherubini effect, sending graph for cost, activate graph effect. Was that my hand? I don't remember what my hand was. I know it was double Fogblade, Droplet, and a Kaiju. I know those four. And then I had combo. I know that much. The other two were combo. Because I know I Kaiju'd the Herald, and then I discarded one. It might have been Tour Guide. I think it was Tour Guide. Oh, it was Tour Guide E-Telly. That's what it was. Okay. So I Kaiju'd the thing, activated E-Telly. No response. He tried to negate with Baron. I go chain Droplet, send. No. Fuck. I know I sent a monster. I know a monster was sent to negate the two because then I wouldn't have been able to negate them. So I know I sent a monster and it was a monster. Oh, a monster and Fogblade to negate Baron and the Borlo Savage. And then I started to go through the combo. I got to the point to where I had Bard in the left EMZ. I had a Shade summoned. I had Cherubini and a set Shade Brigadine. But I had two Fogblades engraved because I had to discard them to proceed to go through the phases. So I special summoned the Boots. And at that point, he did the quick effect ritual summon and popped my entire board, which was pretty insane. At that point, I just Fogbladed back a Bard and then attacked over the Baron, so it'd be dead and out of the way, and then search for another Fogblade and set the Fogblade, and pass turn on that, which was big sad because I couldn't extend through it and there was just nothing I could do. So I passed turn to him with 1 or 2 minutes left on the clock, and he was able to just kill me on the crackback because there was nothing I could do. He just made Unicorn, spun this Fogblade back, or he made Phoenix, pop the Fogblade. I chained the Fogblade, negate the Phoenix, and then he just made access code and killed me. There's nothing I could have done about that. Literally nothing. Other than try to stall for time, which I feel like is a very scummy thing to do. But when we're fighting for a invite, I guess that's what we're going to have to start doing. We're going to do you're going to see the duels from locals on the channel. So spoiler warning, you already know who's going to be the winner of locals this week. It's me. I think I have 2 matches on the featured table. One of my matches, so I was at top table for 3 of the games, 3 of the 4 rounds, but during round 3, we have a player who has a broken foot, so he's got a certain table he sits at, so I had to move to him, and then we had just some other players play on table 1 on the feature match, some players that don't get to really play there much, so yeah, you'll get to see how that tournament went. I played against Live Twin Eldritch, Sky Striker, Altergeist in round 2, and then what did I play round 1? Round 1's on the channel. I don't remember. Oh, I played against Marine Cess, but he bricked super hard, so he just threw 3 hand traps at me. The deck laughed at him and just went the hell off. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and me rambling about how the tournament went. I'm going to be doing a combo tutorial for the deck again, just so to kind of walk everybody through how the combo works now. It's still the same old thing, but like you summon scythes, so we'll go through that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment, tell me what I need to change and how bad I am at this game. That's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. You have a fantastic day. Peace.